How about 2 mics going to a bucket of green, right? Oh, y'all heard that one. Hey, I was,
Side track, fall off, you're gonna be there, but you gotta put the costume. Don't fall off.
So I sat down in the office with Shirley, and she typed this whole thing up, you know, my story and everything, and I just knew that if I brought it up here, I'd be stumbling through the words, and I just wouldn't be able to do it. Now I kind of wish I brought it up. I was out there for 8 years, shooting crystal meth and just living a horrible life. I mean, I was really close to death or insanity, and by the grace of God and some wonderful people at Youth with a Mission.
Here in San Francisco City team, and this is where I became a Christian. This is where I learned how to humble myself. This is where I learned how to give back, how to love, how to serve. Everything this city team has to offer, I benefited from it. Over 2.5 years ago, I was jobless, hopeless, and homeless, and hungry. You know, and I went to YWAM, across the street from Drive, and I ran in the van. And, first off,
I can hear you.
Time again. I used to live right across the street, on 6th Street. I stayed on this street for about 15, 20 years. Just running in the world and doing things in the world. And someone mentioned about the light of city team, the light of outposts. You know, maybe about the past 6, 7 years of my addiction, when Canal Mission became City Team.
people that know me don't need the microphone.
Speak up.
I've been in San Francisco, I was running from the Berkeley police, and I've been in San Francisco since like 91. Not getting high those times, but always felt it, always earned it. Where I was at, this dude was show up. Every time I relapsed, Ernest was there. I don't know what it was. The only reason why I don't know Gary is because our kids were separated. The reason why I'm smiling now and talking is
Bernard is my volunteer staff, and Bernard is my CPMer, which we'll just call our gospel planting on 6th Street, volunteer staff. And Bernard is one of the reasons that a change is happening on 6th Street.
running up 6th Street, and I wasn't trying to get no double. Just like the same story, how we going to the hotel, and I was so fearful because the first 8 days we were in the road. Gary started and went to the woods to get his dog. They forced me to go to the woods, and then at the end of the trip in Tahoe, they started chasing bears. Me and Pete were back in our kids' they're pushing us, and they're staying on top of us.
him, I can never buy it. What's one thing God for giving me another life, you know. Sorry, my mentor, Tony Otero, had to leave. I want to thank you guys. That's how much God brought us back together. You know, it's like a family reunion today. And I'm grateful that my brother Gary's here with me. Let me tell you a little something about me and Gary. Me and Gary go for money. We had a godfather. He loved us dearly. You know, Lord was with us in heaven. But he made his promise before he died. You know, he took us under his wings, you know, as his own son. He said, one thing, if I lose earth, I want you to just life together. But you have to be united as a family. And my life will shine on you. But you got to make this promise. And today we fulfill that dream. And the dream comes, I know my father, but he was still living. He's very proud. Very proud. But I know God proud of that anyway, because we're doing it today. I run an NAD. I go to work. You know, I was looking for work one time. And I was like, God, I can't do it. And I said, yeah, just hold on, my child. I got something important. But I'm sitting on the computer and going to these people. I'm like, when are they going to hire me? Don't be my dad. Like me, you sell drugs off down 6th Street. But I look at it and say, God, it's in your time, not mine. So he said, don't give up. But I still want you to work with your brothers who's still in this recovery.
For new students to know this. So both Bruce and Dale, who are graduating today, just graduated from 101. Give them a big round of applause. And they are now they are now enrolled.
I'm graduating.
Right.
We heard Bruce.
So I guess this is going to be extra fun today. But any basics of creative writing, of journalism, and media literacy. What in fact is media? What are we fighting, resisting, and penetrating when we're talking about publishing? What does it mean for poor people and people of color and oppressed folks and disabled folks to actually be published in a society that does
not heard? These words are often spoken to misbehaving children. Yet this is...
Good evening.
To be very excited from coming off of that ground, y'all. I've come a long way from sleeping on that ground. I got almost 6 years clean today.
Yes.
Yes.
And I'm really here because, you know, she's like female champion right here, and I really understand the passion that she has. I can relate to that because I have a passion. Everybody out there know me. I slept on that ground, was on crack over 20 years, and I just want to give back. That's my passion.
That's right.
And we like Batman and Robin.
Okay.
I mean Batman and Robinette.
Okay. Hey, gender notwithstanding. Go for it. So read, this is an excerpt from the piece, not the whole thing. And it is, as most of you know, the Chronicle has been doing a series of attacks on poor people and houseless people, calling it good journalism, and it's really the typical unethical journalism that corporate media will often do. Our own Rami, as well as Joya is not here, but some other folks did a lot of responses to the Chronicle's hate speech of us, and you can all read it online. And yet this man called C.W. Nevius, that was hired by the Chronicle for the sole purpose of like trashing poor people, continues to have more and more stories on the front page against and about poor people and houseless people. So we are going to continue to march on and make more journalistic responses with our scholarship as people who have lived, died, and resisted all of these attacks and are here to tell the story of it. Dale is a poverty scholar from our perspective and from all of us, you know, for magazine, and he is someone who, like he says, has lived on the street, has lived in the very places that the Chronicle is now saying to close, to shut down, and to incarcerate and criminalize poor folks. His response is going to be a part of a media response to the Chronicle that we're going to put in the Bayview, that we're going to put on Poor Magazine, Beyond Cron, and some of our other media partners. So it's a very important piece, and please read your excerpt.
Thank you. I am Dale Ray. And I remember waking up each morning to the strong stench of piss. The smell was coming from me. Sometime during the night, after drinking myself into a stupor, I would piss all over myself as I slept. I would wake up with my mouth feeling like cotton. The ground was cold to the touch as I would try and lift myself up. I was totally oblivious to what was going on around me. I watched absent-minded people line up to get their daily dose of methadone. I was in my own world. I lived homeless in San Francisco for many years. I was addicted to crack for 20 years and alcohol for just as long. It was terrible. I was weak. At one point, I weighed only 110 pounds. My body was in constant shock. I was always shaken. I could barely pick myself up off the ground. I would buy my bottle of $2 vodka and then work my way and hustle, getting a hit of crack. It was an opener, a wake-up for me, like gas in my tank. That's how my day began. I didn't look back. Hit after hit after hit of crack. The whole day. During those years on the streets, I remember times I stayed up for 4 or 5 days straight. On some of those sleepless nights, I would hop on the 38 Gary bus and ride it all night, back and forth until daylight. Maybe just to get out of the cold and somewhere to rest. It was pouring rain. I walked into the check cashing place, right on that corner right there, until they kicked me out. If I had money for a soda, I would go to Carl Jr. across the street, stay up in there all night, and make the soda last so they wouldn't kick me out in the pouring rain. Sometimes I would walk all the way from my spot on that ground over there to Broadway and back and forth, back and forth, until I could no longer keep myself off the ground. I was toe up on the streets, y'all, coughing all the time. I rarely even took off my shoes. I remember once, after it had been around 2 weeks since I had last taken off my shoes, when I finally did take them off, my socks were stuck to my skin. I saw all kinds of things happen on the streets. The rats slept right next to me. They were almost bigger than me. I remember putting my hamburger down next to me, and a rat came up next to me and took the burger right out of my hand. I had my share of harassment by all types of people. On one occasion, a couple came by, and I asked them for some change, and the man called me a nigger. I paused for a moment, and years of rage welled inside me. I picked up a bottle and threw it 100 yards. I hit him right in the back of the head with it. The police was standing across the street by Carl Jr. Did 9 months in the county jail. This was the first of my many trips to the jail. When it got real cold, I would get close to the sewer down there on that corner, and the steam came up out of the ground, out of that sewer, and it kept me warm, it kept me alive. That was my spot. Sometimes when it was freezing cold, I would cover the sewer with a blanket and fall asleep. Thank you.
You want to copy?
So, this piece, which is as really dense and really difficult and gut-wrenching and beautiful as it is just the beginning of the work that Dale's going to be doing. And one of the important things about it is that it actually can become a piece, or what we would call it, for an I am statement that goes into many different pieces. There's a lot of themes in here. We talked about incarceration, basically about profiling. We talked about the old issue of even trying to find shelter itself with someone who's dealing with outsideness. You talked about racism. You talked about fighting back, and you talked about your own shame. And all of those things are extremely valuable and beautiful and terrible and frightening and revolutionary media. So that's what you're doing.
With that, I am on the radio today. I am on television. I give 100% out there because I know how it is. I know how it is. I've been there. Those people walking around and stepping all on me.
So what, before you say any more, because I'm going to have both of you say a 1-minute acceptance speech. First I'm going to go back to Bruce, and I want all of you to know he's getting his certificate for Poor Magazine Digital Resistance. Bruce Allison successfully completed Digital Resistance 101, fall 2007, at Poor Magazine's Race Poverty Media Justice Institute. Bruce.
Yeah. Okay. I would like to thank Tiny here for a dummy like me.
All of you guys, man. All of us together.
Yeah, and I will allow to do my little scribbling.
And
thank you.
Thank you. And you know what, Bruce? On this, your graduation day from 101, you have to promise all of us at SCORE you can no longer refer to yourself as a dummy.
Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. It got stuck in my mind when I was...
Unless you're going to reclaim dummy, like super dummy. Okay? But you are no dummy. Stanford and some would say, don't call me a dummy, dummy.
He just said that last night on...
Exactly. So Bruce, as most of you may or may not know, Bruce is an amazing writer.
Yes, he is.
That he has a learning disability, that he's been marginalized and fetishized for most of his life is irrelevant, because he is someone whose voice is extremely important, who needs to be included, and who, in fact, thanks to the work that he's doing, not us, he's doing, we're just facilitating. He's bringing scholarship around the hospital dumping situation this weekend, around the incarceration of seniors because of ageism, about, you know, the criminalization of poor families and eviction and Ellis Act and stuff that a lot of us wouldn't even know had it not be for Bruce. So thank you, Bruce. Thank you for that. Okay, so that said, I'm now going to, my only thing I ask my friend Dale is that it has to be a minute, your acceptance speech, because you are a man of many beautiful words. So once again, now, with great honor from all of us, we're giving the amazing Dale Ray Poor Magazine's Digital Resistance Program Certificate. Dale has successfully completed Digital Resistance 101, Fall 2007, at Poor Magazine's Race, Poverty, and Media Justice Institute.
Wasn't it?
Yes, we'll go for it.
Wow, y'all. I can honestly say this, that I've never completed nothing in my life. This really means a lot. I'm so glad that I have to go through my giants in life to get to where I'm at today. And I am recognized today as a person who reaches out to help everybody, because that's what I do. You know, you got haters out there. People say this about you, say this. If they only knew me, though. If they only knew me. And I'm so glad that I did have to sleep there to go to them giants, to get off of that ground. Because I truly can say I've been there and done that. But we are all just a link in the chain here. Not no heroes to nobody. I just want to give back. And that's the legacy I want to leave. Is that we need to be a part of the solution instead of the problem. How many more minutes?
30 seconds.
I like to, man, you know what? I want to tell you, brother, that you truly inspired me. When I see you, man, and sometimes I know you have, you know, there is no excuse why we can't do these things. Look at you, man. You're my hero, man. Thank you. I want you to know that, man, that I draw strength from you, each and every one of y'all. And I appreciate this. This is one of many. I just received an award as 100 men in the whole California making a difference. And I mean business. I want to tell everybody that they can do this. How many more seconds are there? 15. Don't go to sleep, girl. You're going to sleep on me. Hey, get that on camera.
15.
God bless y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Thank y'all for listening. There goes my other hero right here.
JB.
God bless you. She really is. And her and I were at a rally together, and it was like over 500 people. She is a true champion, too.
One of my greatest
A true champion, too.
One of my greatest I don't have you on there anyway. I got to get my hero over there. And he's one of my greatest contributors. And he's a good man. He always pulling for me. He always rooting for me. He know the kind of work that I do. He's a good man. That's Mirage right there. He can really appreciate what I do. He's a good man. Thank you, Mirage, for believing in me. You know you my champion too. For sure. You're one of the reasons that I'm doing what I'm doing, that I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing. I know I'm doing the right thing. Yes. And he's a good man, and he's a hard worker too. He believes in doing the right thing. He's the right person like I am. And he's always doing what is right, what is good, and he believes in me. What do you think about the work that I do, Mirage?
Excellent job.
Huh?
Excellent.
Thank you so much. Thank you for believing in me.
I hope people, they believe on you, and, you know.
Huh?
I hope the people, they believe on you, you know, what you're doing.
Yeah. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, which is telling people they need to leave drugs alone, alcohol, if it's detrimental to them, because I know what it did to me. God bless you, Mirage.